Now we will learn how to instantiate the servlet class object automatically without giving first request. Or the question may arise in interview like how to perform pre-instantiation of our servlet class object, means before giving first request or before getting first request which should be received by servlet program, our servlet class, how can you make it ready, our servlet class object in our servlet container or on our servlet server. So the solution for this, when load on startup when load on startup 1 load on startup is enabled on our servlet program, the servlet container creates objects for our servlet class, either during server startup or during deployment of web applications or during deployments of web applications. So this is called as pre-instantiation or automatic creations of your servlet class objects. Means we must and should have to enable load on startup. We must and should have to enable load on startup on our servlet class objects. In the previous session, we have seen LC test servlet. So let me go to C drive. Here is my program files and Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat 9.0 and web apps. So this is my lifecycle test servlet 15 servlet lifecycle. In this app, I want to perform some changes. So here I don't want to keep my object ready. Okay, instead of creating constructors, okay, fine. What I want to do, I want to perform pre-instantiation of my servlet class. So how can I perform pre-instantiation? We have to enable the load on startup. In where? In web.xml file. How to perform this load on startup? Just go to web.xml file and here you can configure. Load on startup. So here I am configuring here load on startup 1. So this 1 gives the priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apart from non-negative and 0. I don't want to keep any negative values here. So if you keep negative value, that won't be counted, 0 also won't be counted. So always better to give positive value here. So here I enable load on startup. So just this is load on startup and this is my web applications. So here web.inf, this is my web.xml file. Just I loaded here, and in the web.inf, go to classes, lifecycle test servlet. So I want to launch this application on my browser. So just start the server to know whether object has been created or not by using pre-instantiation. So how to know whether your object has been created or not? Just search for this method. Search for this constructor without giving first request. Zero param constructor LC test server. So without giving request, your object will be ready in your server. So let me start my Tomcat server. So go to bin directory and here run as administrator. Right click, run as administrator. So hit the yes button. Now your server is starting and just do observe here. Or search for your constructor contains the method called constructor contains one statement called LC test server. Let me search here LC test constructor, LC test zero param constructor on my server console. On your server console, your object will be ready. So here is my 9 web app, 8 page refresh, 7 miscellaneous, 5 2 MIME, 1 date app, 15 lifecycle servlet has been finished in some seconds. So you can see here deploying web applications LC test zero param constructor. So here you can see LC test zero param constructor. So to give the difference, so to show you that, let me use the /n. So here I want /n, and here also I want /n for new line, and here also I want to keep /n. Here also I want to keep /n for differentiation to know. Let me restart the server again and just see the difference again. Without giving first request, I am restarting my server and object will be ready and constructor will be called automatically. So here run as administrator and hit the yes button. Just do observe somewhere, it will call automatically. Okay, server started. Just scroll up slowly, you will see find the two new lines. Where it has gone? I think 15, 14. Okay, LC test sir, zero param. Oh, I forget to recompile, boss. I forget to recompile because Java files modification, the modification done in Java files need to be recompiled. Let me go to my Tomcat 9 web apps and lifecycle test sir, web-inf classes. Otherwise, you can reload also. cmd java c space lc test srv.java. Fine. Close this one, successfully compile, and let me restart the server. That's it. So here right click, run as administrator. Yes. Just do observe once again. Last time I forget to recompile my Java class. Now it has gone. Just see here. Scroll up slowly. Look at here. Without giving first request only, LC test zero param constructor has been called or not, followed by init method has been called, means I haven't given the request from my browser also, Now this is my first request, means my object is ready now, my solid object is ready now, and init method has been called. And scroll down and do observe here when I give the first request, from the servlet. So here localhost /15 lc test lc url. You can see here lc test request url. So without object and without url. Again one more. So one more f5. For every time it is giving. It is when the browser gives the request to the servlet lc test srv. At that time, service method is calling internally by having the two parameters, request and response objects. But before my solid has been called, it is my solid container is keeping my objects ready. Which objects? My LC test srv as well as servlet, init servlet. So this is a practical implementation of how your solid get calls or objects will be ready. So you have to enable load on startup. On our servlet class program, In that case, servlet container creates objects for our servlet class either during server startup or during deployment of your web application. This is called as pre-instantiation. So here there are two questions which may arise. One of the two questions may arise. So let me make it as so yeah, let me go for or the question may arise like this, or okay. So this is the solution for how to pre-instantiate your solid class objects. And the deployment, when the web application is deployed before starting the server, is called as cold deployment, and if the web application is deployed after starting the server, is called as hard deployment. Okay boss, fine, thank you.